Are back again, and I'm so pleased to have Patrick White on. Patrick has been on a number of times, usually as an actor for some performances, and but this time he's on as an instructor of acting. So with him he's brought Mary Williams, who is one of his students, and Ed Miller, who is another one of his students. And we're going to find out what it's like to take an acting class, and can anyone act? Aha!
Yes.
Hi, Patrick.
Hi, Ann. How are you?
Good. I'm doing great.
Good. Absolutely. Yes, I'm teaching an acting class. I have 35 years of experience. I went to a professional school, American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and was down in the city for 15 years. I grew up in Colony before moving back home. And after I studied professionally, I was always in acting class. You know, you were trying to get a job, you were doing something, but you were always in class. And
you could kind of tweak your skills?
Tweak your skills or work on stuff that you were not necessarily going up for. You know, you wanted to aspire to, you know, whatever it was that you know, you were interested in, but you certainly weren't going on auditions for O'Neill or Williams. You know, you were going on, commercial auditions, or you were doing original material, you know, or you were playing, you know, the third guard, you know.
Or anything.
And that's when you were successful.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, you know, you always wanted to, I always wanted to pursue playwrights I loved. I was writing monologues for myself. There was an acting teacher I studied with, Win Handman, who founded the American Place Theater, and he was also a director. And people that studied with him developed pieces in class. Eric Bogosian, Sam Shepard wrote Cowboy Mouth when he was taking class with him. And he directed Sam Shepard and Patti Smith. So there are also students I have in class. Mary has always...
Hi, Mary.
Hi.
has always dreamed about acting, saw my flyer in the library. Ed has years of experience up in the community.
Hi, Ed.
Doing productions with various different groups. And then I also have playwrights who have come in and they want to work on their material, bring in. So the acting class is pretty much tailored to whatever they want to work on.
You go with the flow.
Yeah, there's a Steve King who loves Harold Pinter. You want to work on that monologue? Let's work on it together.
Now, do you feed back on each other? Like, Mary, when you try your work, does Ed, I mean, I don't know if he's in your class, but does Ed say, yeah, that was really good, or does he say, you know, if you'd put a little bit more or do you wait for Patrick to do all of that?
Well, I do get feedback from the other students, and of course with Pat too. You know, sometimes he tells me, well, yeah, you got to do this a little bit better, or don't turn your back towards when you start doing the speaking. You know,
because when you're on stage, I mean, the first time I was on stage, you know, I'd start talking, and they go, no, remember, you have to reach the back row.
Right.
We didn't have little microphones, you know, that we could talk. So you have to project,
yes.
But you have to project so that you're not shouting.
That's right, yes.
Right. We have a vocal and physical warm-up, and I touch upon, you know, vocal technique. I'm not a voice or speech coach, you know, that's a whole different
other
discipline.
thing, yeah.
But there are techniques that you can use that you can employ to project your voice, and yeah, that's an important, you know, aspect in filling rooms. Most of the rooms in the capital region are 100 seats or less, so that is not, you know,
even Cap Rep,
terribly
I think, is
difficult.
only about 300, I think.
Right,
So.
and occasionally they have microphones, you know, and in the Broadway houses, which are 1,000
They always
seats,
use mics.
they always have microphones. And there's a famous story, Jason Robards, when they first started using microphones, he was doing You Can't Take It With You, and I actually do this too. He talked over the microphone, so that he was continually projecting, you know, vitiating the need for a microphone at all, you know, because he had this technique.
Well, he has such a voice
says,
anyway.
And he was like, I'm not going to rely on your silly microphone.
Yes, I'm going to just do what I know is right.
Right,
Yeah.
right.
Now, Ed, what would be your choice role to play? If you were going to play a role, what would be your choice?
I would like to be a lead character eventually. It seems like I get a lot of supporting roles, which is fine. But I get a lot of roles like I'll be a cop or a priest. It seems like I have the same.
You're good with collars, huh?
I guess I'm typecast. But I try just about any role.
But it broadens you when you try different roles. But sometimes we have one that we'd always like to, like we have guests coming up from Circle Theater Players, and one woman is playing a dog. So, you know, it could be anything, right?
Yeah. Oh, I was, Patrick and I were talking about it. I played Ruckley in Cuckoo's Nest, and as a lobotomized patient. And it was, I didn't really want to do it at first.
That's a wonderful play and a wonderful part.
But I really didn't want to do it. And then as I did it, it was like one of the best roles I ever had.
It's the best. It's a really wonderful. And we have to realize that, you know, there are no small parts.
I played that part when I was 16 years old at Shaker High School. They did it as a theater for children. They did Cuckoo's Nest.
For children?
And I did Ruckley, and I fell in love with acting from doing Ruckley, because you only have one line, which is the F 'em all. But I created this I created this whole backstory for the character of why he was lobotomized and why he was criminally insane. And the director just said, go, go, go. And
at 16?
At 16. That's pretty much, and the director was a graduate of American Academy of Dramatic Arts, and that's, Ruckley was the lobotomized patient was the reason why I went on.
Yeah. Mary, do you have a part that you'd like to play?
Well, I like playing Mama. I'm raising the son. That's my favorite part, being Mama, Walter's mama.
Okay.
That's my favorite part because Walter's something else, and Mama had to keep him under control, you know. He really is. That actually is my favorite part, you know, because what I like about it is that Mama, Walter's mother, she's waiting on her, and
that's such a wonderful play, Raising.
It's excellent. It's excellent, and Mama's really something else.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, she's very strong and stern, you know, and stand to the point, you know.
Well, it's good that, you know, you have a goal as to what part you'd like to play, and you can always learn those parts whether you play them or not, because it stretches your acting ability, I think, to try these different things. And I belong to an improv group, and we used to read a lot of plays. Pfeiffer was, you know, his little plays they're short and they're really great and fun to play, but it's a way of expressing yourself and getting out of your own skin into somebody else's skin and trying to be that person. And you hear about actors in movies where they will go ahead and, you know, travel with a cop, like you played the cop, travel with a cop, or you travel to kind of get a feel for what their lives are like. And I guess if you're in a movie, you got more, you can do that more than if you're in acting, but you could probably still do it.
Right, sure. Another reason why I started class was for actors to take responsibility for their dreams, for their passions, in that there are a ton of opportunities in the Capital Region. There are over 40 groups producing in the Capital Region. You could work nonstop all the time.
And I think
many
you do.
people
I think you do.
But sometimes you walk away from a production and you say, well, that director really didn't know that, or they weren't really, and it's time for the actor to take it on themselves and look at themselves and say, what do I bring to the table? Because there are many times where there isn't time for the director to address, or he doesn't have the wherewithal to address, you know, it's very rare that you have a director say, you know, okay, on your fourth wall, you're going to have this setting.
Yeah, you can't do that for every character.
You know, your backstory for this character, you have this rich emotional life, and it connects to your personal, you know, objective. You know, it's something where the actor needs to, you know, step up to the plate with his own and look at himself and say, you know, what am I bringing to this production?
You have to bring something to the table, too.
Right, and that hopefully
How would they
is
take
what
your
I'm
classes?
offering them. They can contact me at white.patrick1963@gmail.com. I have 8 classes for $240. You can take the 8 classes over a 10-week period. And we meet every Saturday morning, 10:30 to 1:30, at the Albany Masonic Hall at 67 Corning Place. Downtown Albany, right behind City Hall. It's a beautiful building, and the Masons
and we showed pictures during our interview here.
The best.
Yeah.
Very supportive.
Well, if you've ever wanted to be an actor, check it out. Maybe this is the time to step up for your New Year's resolution, right?
Absolutely.
Always great to see you, Patrick.
Good
Nice
to
to
see
meet
you.
you, Mary
Nice
and
to meet
Ed.
you.
Yeah, great, and good luck with all your acting.
Thank you.